Hey, Revival Mom, welcome back. Today, I want to share with you a training that I did on our Revival Mom meetup a couple weeks ago. And it is about overcoming some of those old thought patterns, some of those old thought mindsets that God had already taken care of, but for some reason, they're trying to make a way back into your life. And I share a story about what happened, what brought this up for me, and then I walk you through 5 steps to get rid of that thought process for good and stand on God's truth. So you're not going to want to miss it. And without further ado, let's just get started. Hey Mama, welcome to Revival Mom Podcast, where we're growing closer to God, learning to stand on His truth and walking in our authority as moms through Jesus. I believe that revival starts with moms knowing who God is and who they are in Him. This overflows onto our children, creating a generation of kingdom warriors that are on the winning side. Amen? A generation who loves God, seeks Him, and changes this world. If you're in for a warm cup of coffee or tea, grabbing a quick workout or a deep conversation and ready to be bold in your faith, hearing from God more clearly and seeing revival in your home and community, you're in the right place. It's time to connect with God and be courageous so we can walk in victory. You ready? Let's go. This past week, I had some interesting feelings going on and just some things that I felt like I had dealt with that were trying to kind of like come back to life, right? Like this was dead and buried. Like this is gone. Why are you trying to come back? I think it was Sunday night. I was getting ready to prepare dinner. And actually I was in like one of those moods. I was like, nothing sounds good. I want it to be healthy, but I don't want to cook something healthy, but I also don't want it to be like pizza or fast food. Like I was like in one of those weird places of just like indecision. But really what I found is that after the holidays, like just all of the, all of like the comfort food and all of the sweets and everything else, my body was just feeling kind of blah. And normally, like, that's fine. Where since, oh gosh, the time I was very young, 16 is when I started my fitness journey, started exercising, started watching what I ate. And it wasn't out of like a to be healthy type of thing. It was I didn't like the way that I looked type of thing. And I have kind of through the years have started to deal with that. And over like the last year, 2 years, like I have found that I don't look like I did, before I had my children. And even though I eat healthy and exercise and all the things, and over the last year, I had hurt my shoulder. And so I wasn't able to work out. I wasn't able to exercise for like 6 months. And even through that, I was like, okay, it's fine. Like it's going to get healed. I'll be able to exercise again. And I wasn't having really any body image issues. And then like after Christmas, after the holidays, after all that, all of a sudden, like it just hit me. It was like this heaviness, this weight, these negative thoughts about myself started to come back in. And it was almost, like things like, oh, look, see, you don't have discipline. You're not disciplined enough. You don't have the self-control. Oh, wow. Like, yeah, you say you're okay with, your body, but oh, look at that. Like even looking in the mirror, I was like pointing stuff out again of like, oh my gosh, like, I gotta do something about this. And it was coming from a place of condemnation because I am all about being healthy, moving our bodies, eating right? Like treating this temple that God has given us, treating it well. But it was coming from a place of self-condemnation and a place of, just like, oh, what is wrong with you? And oh my gosh, you need to fix that and all these things. And so that night when I was trying to figure out what we were going to have for dinner, what it really was an internal battle that I was having of I want to eat healthy because I am feeling like I don't look great. I am hating my body right now. I am not liking my body. It wasn't coming from a place of I want to treat my body well. It was coming from this place of, but what, like just this ugly self-hatred, condemnation, like, and I started crying. I told my husband, I started crying. I was like, I just don't know what to have for dinner. Like, he's probably like, oh my gosh, are you okay? I was like, I just don't know what to have for dinner. And, I feel like all this way and I know I need to eat better, but gosh, I just, I'm picking myself apart. And, and he's like, it's okay. He's like, let's just, just go pick something up at the store because I was going to grab groceries. And he's like, go grab like some of that frozen Chinese food. And I was like, well, that's not going to help me, but okay, I'll go get, you made the decision. So I will just go get the Chinese food from the store. And while I'm on my way to the store, God said, Alyssa, didn't I say that there would be some things that were dead and gone that would be trying to come back? And I was like, yeah, Lord, you did. He said, okay, so these voices, these things that you're telling yourself, that's not who you are anymore. Picking your body apart, but comparing yourself to other women and, oh, they have a flatter stomach or they look better or, oh, they're much stronger than me. Like all these things, all these negative things that you're telling yourself, he said, that one is not coming from me. Two, that's not who you are anymore. I have created a new thing within you. We got rid of that. We have forgiven, you have gone through, you have forgiven, all the people that you needed to forgive. You have forgiven yourself for how you treated and talked to your body. Like you have done all of these things. That is not who you are anymore. And he said, he brought the verse to mind, and I should have looked it up. Darn it. Let me see here. What is it? Resist the devil and he will flee. Resist. Oh, I'm looking it up now so I can tell you where it is. James 4:7-8. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Let's see. Surrender therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. And he reminded me of that verse. I said, Lord, you're right. So I instantly just said, nope, devil, I rebuke you. You leave. Like, you go back to hell where you came from. This is not who God has called me to be. This is not who I am anymore. And I resisted the devil. And as soon as I did that, like, I felt this lightness. Like, I instantly was like more joyful. And I was like, oh, okay. And then God said, okay, Alyssa, now you get to say what you love about yourself, what you love about your body. And I was like, oh, Lord, this is really hard for me right now because I have not been like, I have been injured for most of 2024. Like, I haven't been exercising. I don't feel strong. He said, no, stop. Like, I don't want to hear that. What do you love about yourself? And I said, oh, okay, Lord. Well, and I listed, I think I said, what did I say? I said like one thing. I don't even know what it was now. Um, but I was just like, Lord, I am so thankful that, oh, okay, we're all women here, so I can say this. This is what it was. I was like, Lord, I am thankful that I kind of have a booty now because I've never really had a booty. And and he was like, okay, what else? And I list off like 5 things that I am thankful for about my body and how it is strong and how my back has been healed, and so now like I can actually pick up after my children. I can walk and I can cook dinner without having to go lay down because my back is like seizing up. Like all of these things started to come to me, like this is what I love about my body. And I love that it nourishes me. When I eat, it breaks down the foods correctly and it nourishes me. And I just started speaking life to my body. And I think I came home a completely different person. Like I walked in and I was like, okay, like yeah, I'm home and cool. And this week it has been easier for me to eat healthy than the last like 3 weeks of the entire time I was sitting there like, saying all these self-condemning things. all of a sudden, like this week, I'm like, oh yeah, like I love eating life-giving, nutritious foods. Like all these things. And it was just so amazing. And so as I was praying about this, God is just like, Alyssa, we get to talk about that this week because maybe for you, it's not your body. Maybe you haven't had like those body image issues. Maybe it's um maybe it's something to do with like as I was praying yesterday, I just felt like the Lord saying that finances, like we're someone stepping back into this place that you've already dealt with. You're stepping back into this place of almost like a scarcity mindset or a like this poverty mindset of I don't have enough, we don't have enough, we're not going to be able to do this, and you're starting to kind of spiral into this like this place of anxiety over finances. And he's saying, we have dealt with that. We have gotten rid of that mindset. We have gotten rid of those curses, the things that have held you back, the words that maybe you heard your parents or your grandparents speak that, what did I write down? Maybe that like this isn't that life isn't for us. We're not meant to have that kind of money. We're not meant to do whatever it is, right? And he's saying we have dealt with that. He says, I am God. I am the Almighty. Everything is mine. And when I want you to do something, I will provide it. And it may not come in the way that the world tells you it's going to come. The working and the working hard. Okay, he calls us to work, but the the working so much that you burn out, the working so much that you are physically ill, that your mental capacity is gone, you don't have any emotional peace, like that kind of work. He says, I didn't call you to that. He said, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. And so maybe there's some of you who are kind of feeling yourself like falling back into that thought process of it's just not enough. There's this scarcity going on. Maybe it's in your health, you're believing that like, well, healing isn't for me, healing isn't for my body, healing isn't for my child, healing isn't for the ones close to me, like, or at least how we've seen other people be healed, like God doing it this way, like, or being healed from an autoimmune issue or whatever it is. That's just not for me. God is doing that for other people, but it's not for me. And yet he came to give life and life in abundance for all of us. And he says, by Jesus' stripes, we are healed. And so he has already paid that price for us. And so maybe it's those kind of thoughts. Maybe it is self-condemning thoughts when it comes to you as a mom, right? I went and had a massage this morning, and my massage therapist, we were talking about motherhood a little bit, and she's just like, oh, I was homesick last week, and oh my gosh, it was just I couldn't take it. Like I wanted to come back to work because she was home with her kiddos, and she has young kids and everything, and she was just like, but that guilt, she's like, I feel like, I get to this point and then I lose it and then I have this guilt and it just like gnaws at me. And maybe it's for you, it's something like that. Maybe there was a mistake you made as a mom, and now the enemy is using that because you haven't forgiven yourself yet. And he's using it and he's like just poking it in deeper and deeper, and he keeps pressing on that spot because it hasn't been dealt with. And so now you're starting to believe the lies of the enemy that you're a horrible mom and you can never keep your temper under control and you're going to ruin your kids, and it just like spirals down. And so what I want us to do is what he showed me is that one, we resist the devil and he will flee, right? So the first thing is we get to see, okay, Lord, what is this for me right now? What has been dead and gone that is trying to come back to life that we get to put back in its grave? What is it? I want you to write it down. Okay, what is this? What is the thing that is trying to come back to life? What is the thing? What is the words that I'm speaking that is maybe self-condemning, whatever it is? I want you to write that down. I hope you have your journal because I want you to write it down. We get to name it right now. And then, because that is taking every thought captive, when we recognize it, now we can take it captive and we can then say, nope, this is not who I am anymore. This is not the creature that I am. This is not the way that I'm going. And then we speak truth over it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're declaring and decreeing the truth of who we actually are within us, because that is how we overcome those things. That is how we overcome it, is just by taking it captive. And that's literally what it is recognizing, oh, this is where I'm at. That's literally what he means. Take it captive and then make it obedient to my word, which is speaking the truth over it. And then when you speak truth, see, he took me another step. Like, what do you get to believe? So that speaking truth. So finding that truth is, what do you get to believe? What do you want to believe about yourself? And what do you get to walk in? So while you're speaking that truth over yourself, now you're saying, ooh, this is actually what I'm going to walk in. This is what I'm going to believe. And this came up for me just now. Because even I feel like sometimes when we speak truth, there's still this belief about God, belief about ourselves that we're holding on to. It can be hard to do that because I'm believing or not believing that he's actually going to provide in that way. And just kind of looking at myself like, how am I going to make this happen? How is my husband going to make this happen? And what I'm believing is that I'm the one that has to do it, and that God actually isn't going to show up. Like, I'm going to give like he's asking me to, and then he's not going to show up. And I found that before. So then I take that belief and it's, Lord, please forgive me. Please forgive me for that belief that I've held on to, the belief that I'm going to be obedient, I'm going to partner with you, and then you're not going to hold up your end of the bargain. I have been believing that. And but what I choose to believe is that you are a good father. And when we partner you want us to rely on you. You want us to partner with you. So when we do that, and I know that you are a trusting God, you are a God who keeps his promises. So I know that if you are asking me to do this thing with my finances or moving jobs or to take this step of faith, I know that there's a reason for it. And that you are going to keep that promise and it's going to be for my good. That's what I choose to believe.
Okay, so what did you think about that? What did it bring up for you? I hope that you took some notes on that or go back and re-listen, because I know you're probably driving to get the kiddos or doing laundry or something else. Go back and listen, take the notes, answer the questions that I gave. There's something there that God is wanting to take care of, that he's already taken care of, that's trying to come back to life. And he's like, no, it gets to stay gone. So go back and do that. And then I want to see you at our next Revival Mom meetup. So go to revival.mom/meetup. The link is in the show notes. Go sign up. You'll get a link to join our call. It's completely free. And I cannot wait to see you and to hear just how God moved in your life after hearing this episode. Talk soon. Before you go, thank you for listening to the podcast. If it has blessed you in any way, the number one way you can thank me is to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. I love hearing from you and seeing how this show has impacted your life. Second thing, take a screenshot of this episode or your review and share it on your Instagram story, and I'll share you on mine. Together, we're the spark of revival.